What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Wacky Wisdom Sports. We are
Yo, yo,
expert
yo.
NFL pickers. We pick the games, and we're so good we don't even go back and see if we're right, man. We don't even care. So we don't even have our records for the year or nothing. We got to go back and calculate and see who the winner was. But I'm sure that we were all somewhere around like 90, 99%. These are all expert picks against the spread here. So if you want some good gambling advice, you want to make a lot of money this weekend, every single thing we say, bet on it, bet a lot on it. You will
We're
come out
insiders.
so rich. You will owe us money at that point. If you bet based on what we say, we actually own some of the rights, so you'll have to cash at me if you do that. I do have a lawyer to come after you, and I know who's doing
20%
it. We can
ticker.
track. Yeah, we're actually like demigods, dude. We can like see into the spiritual universe and see who's betting based on our picks, and then we can sue you if you take our picks.
I can just see
But
the
no,
lines moving at the moment, dude.
y'all see your line moving. But
I
anyways,
got a
yeah, let's
line
get
to
right
move.
into it. Obviously, we're kind of stupid if you haven't figured that out by now. But Jets versus Browns. We are
Man, I,
Browns
I got
fans
that
here.
Raiders game last week. I got that Raiders over the Chiefs last week. Y'all called me crazy. And guess what? Guess
I mean, I
what?
gave
That
you a
was an
path.
X.
I gave you a path. I thought I gave it a pathway because I said divisional rivals late in the season. Always a
Yeah,
pathway for those games.
So
yeah, maybe it was.
the Chiefs are on my no bet. They're in no bet purgatory for like a week now.
Yeah,
Not
you got
betting
to
on
sit on them
football.
for a minute. You got to sit on the Chiefs for a minute. All right, we got to get into the what.
All right,
Let's
Jets
see.
versus Browns. This is it, folks. We here in Cleveland are very excited. This game is tonight. A lot of you will be watching this stream, and this game will already happen, so you'll be here for the other games and such that we're going to predict. So you might want to skip, maybe 5-10 minutes here as we talk about the Browns if you're watching this and it's already Friday or Saturday or even Sunday morning. So Jets versus Browns. This is it, man. The Browns can clinch the playoffs. It would be the second time they clinched the playoffs in the last, well, 4 seasons, 2020,
Yeah.
2020, 21, 22, 23. So that would be 2 times in 4 seasons that your Cleveland fucking Browns have made the playoffs. That's pretty exciting, man. That's a big turnaround from the Hugh Jackson era in 2016-17 where they went 1-31.
Did that
And
exist? Was that a real era? Were we really, or was that just a dream?
that was kind of the end of an era, man. For a long time, I mean, the Browns, I think in the 2 years after they came back, 1999, like 2 years at like they were good in like 2003, and then they were good in 2007. Those are the years that might not have existed because within all the other seasons, I mean, we were pretty much the worst team in the NFL every single season.
Well, the Peyton Hillis season was fun. I'll say that.
They were
That was
five
the
and
two. That
12.
was the. That
It was
was.
still.
Wasn't he on?
It was
Wasn't
Yeah,
he
fun.
on the?
that was when he was
Wasn't
Madden
he?
cover.
Yeah, he
Like,
got
Wasn't he
the
on the
Madden cover.
you can
2017
be
though?
no. You see, you can
That
be an
was
asshole,
No,
but have a
Jamal
fun
Lewis.
season.
Jamal
Jamal
Lewis
Lewis.
was the Browns
Jamal
running back.
Lewis.
He
That
was
was
a, he
that
was
was
a
fun.
monster.
All right, so real fast, everybody. For those that don't know, Browns gotta win tonight. If we win, we clinch, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're in 2000. We're in 2023. The last time we were in this position where we had a game clinching home game was in 2003, if I'm not mistaken, and I was at that game when we clinched against the Atlanta Falcons. It was one of the best games I'd ever been to. And just to recollect, there was feet of snow on the ground. So here we are 20 years later, and we're back at it. It's the first time in 20 years we've had the same scenario. So that just goes to show, man, for me, I've been waiting for a long time.
So are you saying a game that was not the last week of the year because remember when
Yeah,
we made it in 2020, it was the last week of the year, and we were playing Pittsburgh at home. It just didn't count maybe because there didn't really have many fans there. because it was
because
the
it was
pandemic.
a pandemic. Well,
Yes,
I
that doesn't
guess,
really.
but did we clinch it? But we didn't clinch it
Yes,
the last
Baker
game.
Mayfield ran a 2-yard quarterback sneak and got a first down, and we
I didn't realize
clinched it.
that. I kind of, I'm gonna be honest. That whole season was kind of whack to me, bro. It doesn't really like stick out to me like the 2007 or the 2003 season. It doesn't because there's an asterisk by it. Like our coach was sitting in the basement coaching. Like there's just an asterisk by that whole season.
Yeah, it was stupid. The Browns also that year we made the playoffs were not a positive SRS team. Just to put that in perspective, they won a lot of close games against lesser opponents to get in. I still think they were a good team. They won the first round of the playoffs and gave the Chiefs a game. Those things don't always matter. What's on paper is going to translate. Now, as far as tonight goes, if you want to start looking at those things, I can't really click the links here because this website will shut down my entire browser if I try to use it, but we can use this here. SRS Browns at 3, Jets at -5. So you use that to make a point spread. You're getting somewhere around 8 points. The spread on this game is 7.5. What's up, Derpy? Yeah, hopefully we don't pull a Cleveland. I guess I don't know. I think pulling a Cleveland for the Browns means something different this year. Pulling a Cleveland means magically winning a game that you weren't even supposed to win with PJ Walker at quarterback. That's what pulling a Cleveland means.
Pulling a Cleveland is the last game that we played the Jets.
Yeah.
That would be the last time we pulled a Cleveland.
Yeah. Who else but Joe Flacco? Now he's on our side. I think I just have to take the 7.5, and a lot of it has to do with them being at home, and they're a different team at home. And they got Trevor Siemian. Weird as it is to say, I would rather play him than Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson had a few decent games this year, but then as soon as you think, oh, maybe he's there, back to the shitter, and he's benched the week after that game. So there's a world where the Jets kind of do what Chicago did to us, and they pick off Joe Flacco, maybe get a touchdown and a field goal in range or something. But if the Browns know what they're doing, they can blow this team out of the water. I'm just going to say I think they will do that.
I think they're going to blow them.
The Jets have a good defense, so it's very
but their defense has given up 30 points in the last the last 5 games.
They have got foundational pieces.
You got to consider, but you also got to consider their offense being really bad in the field position.
Well, that's the thing. When I say last week, or when we played Chicago, rather, their defense kept them in that game, and I was more concerned about their offense going into it. Just Fields a way better player than fucking Trevor Siemian. The only 2 guys I worry about on the Jets offense somewhat, Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. If you get those guys under control, you're probably set. Just do your thing. So cover that 7.5, Brownies.
Oh, yeah, we covering that. We're covering that shit. It ain't even a question.
This should not be a fucking thing, dude. How can one little website crash my whole fucking browser, dude? I've had this same problem for weeks now with this fucking website, dude. I use it for fucking everything. All right,
how can man have this much
Basically,
power?
the Jets offense is garbage. But they do have guys that could potentially hurt you in Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. Now, you need a quarterback to run the system and get them the ball. They've had trouble doing that. That's the one key thing for the Browns. No big plays. Don't let either of those guys get going, and let the Jets fuck themselves. They're going to throw interceptions. They're going to play sloppy offense. They're going to put themselves in bad positions. You just need to not let any big plays happen. That's all. If you let a few first downs, whatever. Now, the other thing, too, is the Jets have a not so good run defense. The Jets do not have a good run defense. That has been something that has been an issue for the Browns. So look for them. Look for Stefanski to try to get this run game going. You're not going to really want Amari Cooper to play much in this game unless you need him. I don't think they will. I think they'll be able to get the run game going, bring in the extra fullback like they've been doing with that big dude. Help somebody out, help these tackles out. The Browns do have 2 backup tackles in there. They're going to need some help if we're going to get this run game going. Figure out how to do that. We're going to have a lot of opportunities to test some things out tonight in the run game. That's why, I would say for people betting Flacco overs, I know there's a lot of people into that thing. I would not bet any Flacco overs on passing yards. Now, sure, it's the Jets. We're at home. We're trying to clinch.
Is fine.
Yeah, but we could get up by 24 points at halftime. Flacco's just handing the ball off in the third quarter, and then PJ Walker comes in the fourth quarter. PJ Walker could easily end up playing in this football game. So yeah, I think as far as the 7.5 goes, I think the Browns are going to come out there and smack these guys around, man. It's going to be bad.
The way last game ended, though, where we took them out and then we had to put them back in, I think we'll be a little just forceful and make sure we get the job done.
Yeah, if you get up 35-7 in the fourth quarter, though, you pull your fucking starters. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what happened. And
I think we could have left the backups in there and we probably would have been all right.
Here's one thing that y'all are leaving out that we haven't talked about is the fact that we don't have a kicker. Yeah, bro. So that 7.5 actually kind of means something in a way because we don't know, being at Cleveland, we don't know what the weather's like. So that being said, we don't know what our special teams are going to be like, and we may be having to go for it on 4th down a lot. We might not even have, so I think special teams could play a big role, extra points. So instead of getting 21 points, we could have 18 points. I'm not saying we can't cover. I'm just saying that's a big part of the game that we have no clue. We just signed some guys. We have no clue what they're going to do or can do.
I saw they are manageable guys. I'm pretty sure that the kicker, not the punter, the kicker had basically got cut for missing 1 kick.
He missed 2 in one game, his last game.
So and we saw how we did last game, going for it. We were fine most of the time. We don't want to live off that, but
that's what I'm saying, though. I mean, you can only do that so much. But
I don't think we need our kicker and our punter in this game. Give me the 7.5.
Yeah, I'm still with it, but I'm just saying we got to keep that in consideration. We don't know. If we had Hopkins, it would be a for sure. And our punter, man, that dude was money. I think he might be the best.
It's one of the best few punters for sure.
Yeah, bro, I agree.
He's got the air yardage. He kicks it up high enough to where you give your special teamers time to get there.
But yeah, the Browns are 7-1 at home, Jets 2-4 on the road. So it doesn't seem like they have a very good chance, no matter what way you cut it, unless some stupid Cleveland shit happens.
Yeah, hopefully that's
so. Anyways,
happen, bro.
Look at the price of those tickets compared to the ones in the next game.
Yeah, tickets as low as $159, and then Lions Cowboys on Saturday on ESPN. On ABC, actually, at 8:15 in prime time at AT&T Stadium, tickets as low as $81.
Dude, what's funny about that the Jets game is I remember on August 22nd sitting there eating, talking to my brother about all the games upcoming, and I was talking about how cheap this game was only $16. The Ravens game was 20. Now they went up 100.
There's no Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
All right, but going on to the next game, Lions versus Cowboys. Lions, Cowboys, and Bears. Bears suck, so we don't need to talk about them today. But Lions and Cowboys are both really good. The Cowboys are still going to be engaged in this game, and so will the Lions. I think for seeding, this one really matters, huh?
Make Cowboys to cover that.
Cowboys favored by 5.5.
I think this is still both these teams are very good when they're on their game. But this is another, just like the Browns game, where being at home really, really does matter for this team. And we've seen the Lions. They win a lot of these games still, but they do have tendency to kind of cool off for periods in the games and basically give worse teams opportunities to pull away and win. It happened against the Bears, but like the Cowboys, they're a really, really, really tough team to beat in their house. So I think 5.5 is more manageable.
Oh, the Cowboys have clinched the playoffs, but they could still win their division.
Yeah, you want to win the division if you can.
And then for the Lions, they already got the Z. What's the Z? Oh, they clinched their division. So they're maybe going for this number 1 seed. Yeah, and they're kind of tied for it. So yeah, this will be a ball game. Yeah, these guys are going to treat this like a playoff game essentially tonight on Saturday night. So that'll be a good one. Yeah, Lions are 6-2 on the road. Dallas is undefeated at home. So something's kind of got to give here. These teams are not in the same division, so they haven't played each other yet this year. Let me see if I can get my web page to load so we can at least look at the SRSs. We can't look at everything, but we can at least look at the SRSs. By the way, I sent them a message on Twitter and they did not respond to me. They get like 2 replies on their fucking posts, this website, and they couldn't reply to some like consumer having an issue. Like, okay, dude. But anyways, we got the Cowboys at 9.4 and the Lions at 3.5. So yeah, we've discussed this before. The Lions don't have a very high SRS. It's not bad though. That still puts you in a really good spot. Obviously 3.5 points above average is pretty good in the NFL. Like it's a game of numbers that have small differences having a big impact. So that's where you're getting your 5 points from, though, folks. There you go. This time of year, they really start using that SRS and the odds. I mean, that's a 6-point difference, and the spread's 5.5. That's 2 games in a row we've looked at where that correlates. I would have to think that the Cowboys will kind of get things back on track, and because they usually do come rolling into the postseason. They might have a fuck up near the end of the year, but the last few games they come rolling and they come in hot. So I think they're going to show something against the Lions at home tonight or on Saturday night, cover that 5.5 too. But it could easily go the other way, and they could easily lose the game and continue to spiral. Tim?
Well, the Cowboys are at home. They seem to play well at home. Lions may be taking their foot off the gas because they've already clinched, and usually sometimes that happens.
I mean, they're going to want that number one seed's like a playoff game, though. Teams treat that like a playoff game, so they're going to be engaged.
Yeah, one wins the difference in playing like the
I'm going to take Detroit in the points, but I feel like the Cowboys are going to win. But I feel like I'm going to take the Lions in the points, though. I think it's going to be close.
It is kind of a thick spread between two teams who are, 11-4 and 10-5.
That home field is like worth like 2.5, 3 points.
Well, that's a big over/under at 52 points. That's like 26 points per team.
Dallas is undefeated at home, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, teams usually don't go undefeated at home, huh? Yeah.
No, they don't.
That's pretty hard.
They don't. When was the last time a team went undefeated at home?
All right, I'm gonna switch. I got 5.5, I want it on the Lions, not the Cowboys. Just the fundamentals behind that, from a gambling perspective, it just doesn't make sense.
And the Cowboys have a really good kicker too to help cover that a little bit.
I'm saying they're not going to cover.
Well, from my perspective, they will. I think easily.
All right, next game, Panthers versus Jaguars. This game extremely meaningful for the Jaguars. They have totally shit the bed. At one point, they were in cruise control in the division. Not cruise control. They had people breathing down their back, but they were up by like 3 or 4 games.
They're like
And
6
now,
and 7 in America, dude.
now it's technically tied. I know that they have the tiebreaker at this moment because they've beaten the Colts and Texans. But let's say for this sake, I mean, 8 and 7, 8 and 7, 8 and 7. That's 3 teams in the division. It's technically still kind of tied at this point because we still have to figure out some things. Either of these teams can slip in and win this division, which then would make Jacksonville a wild card team, and things would get weird.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so they're going to be playing, and they're going to play against some Panthers. This is a battle of the cats. Jacksonville at home getting 6.5 points. That's pretty significant, but not that crazy considering you're 2-13 as the Carolina Panthers, and the Jaguars are supposed to be a contender this year. I know they've kind of fallen off, but yeah, this really reflects that. Usually you see good teams against the Panthers. They're getting double digits.
This is just a scheduled win, I feel like, for the Jaguars. Like, they can't – they've lost, like 4 straight, I believe, 5 maybe even. And Trevor Lawrence is just not looks like what you'd expect from a guy in his, like, 3rd year. You'd expect him to be up in, like, top 7, maybe top 5 quarterbacks, but he's kind of dwindled a bit. He's dealt with a lot of injuries as well. They got injuries to Christian Kirk. That's really hurt their offense. And their defense just does not look good. It looks exposable by like 90% of the teams in the league. But if there's a time for them to face the Panthers, a team that's 0-8 on the road so far, it's right now because they badly need to get a win for that playoff seeding. Like, I hate to see them still ahead of the Browns, and they're just struggling right now. And we beat them too. So, like, I'm going to say they cover that spread, but be wary of this game for sure.
I think this could be one of the games for the Cleveland Browns. If the Panthers pull this off, I think we clinch, even if we don't win this week. There's a bunch of games that need to go a certain way, and they start this week if we're not going to make it.
One thing I will say for the Panthers is, I mean, I caught a little bit at the end of that last game, and you did see some good things from Bryce Young. They lost the game, but he looked all right for that circumstance. But
yeah, Bryce Young setting records, baby. Most consecutive games in a row under 200 yards. An NFL record. Like 6 games or something like that. So things are not looking good. He's setting records in a bad way. I don't know why I opened this website. I didn't mean to. I was going to look at the SRSs.
There's a few games where it just looks like we don't have to spend much time on them.
Jaguars have a 1 SRS, so they're only 1 point above average at this point. The Panthers, on the other hand, are at a negative 8.9. So that's technically like 10 points right there that this point spread should be. And with Jacksonville at home. So yeah, they are definitely that line reflects how much they're struggling. I know it's still a lot of points, but it should be higher. We'll see. I mean, if they can get things clicking like they have most of the season, they should cover that spread, but I don't trust it right now. And I think the Panthers could fuck around and win this game. This kind of shit happens, man.
Give me the Jaguars. This is a retarded conversation.
I mean, they can. I think that the
Jaguars. This is probably, if it wasn't Gil's team, I would be like, why are we still talking about this fucking game?
It's worth talking about.
What about their little midget homo?
Because they're a terrible team, but the Jaguars
they're gonna get smoked.
It's a big game for playoff seeding.
I mean, every squirrel gets his nut, and Bryce Young hasn't really got his nut off yet.
What does the Panthers have to play for? What do the Jaguars have to play?
They can, and honestly, they don't even have their first round pick, so it's like I wouldn't even give a shit if I were them that much. It's the Bears who should care, but
their shit's in disarray.
They just gotta try and ruin the Jaguars, which would be hilarious. But the Jaguars have struggled a lot. I'm taking them still to cover it, but Panthers they're an NFL team still. So
Yeah, those guys ain't gonna wake up on Sunday like they ain't gonna try to win a football game,
they're
man.
fighting.
They might have not
Not that they're not
prepared
gonna
as much.
try,
They might have
but they're
not
just
prepared
not
as much
good.
during the week.
But they're just
And
not
honestly,
as good. Look at their fucking record.
They are.
They're just not as good.
These guys are also
They
fighting
can
for
play as hard
paychecks,
as
dude.
they want.
That team's so bad. A lot of those guys, they do one really nice thing for 2 or 3 plays, and they're making the team.
As long as their quarterback's 5 foot tall, they're just not a threat to anybody.
But here's a game you don't talk much
Who's
about.
Their coach? Who's their
Yeah,
coach
this
right
one, Buffalo
Who's
Bills versus. No one knows. They have an interim coach.
Oh
now?
yeah,
Exactly. They're a mess. They're a fucking
All right,
mess.
Patriots versus Bills.
This is a tough game. You know why this is tough? Because as soon
It's
as
a
you count out
13-point
Big Bill,
spread.
oh shit, I didn't even. Yeah, it's even
That's
tougher.
what makes it tough.
Yeah, well, I was going to say every time you count out Big Bill, he always seems to come through, and then that.
Yeah, I bet
makes
on
you
the
go to-
Patriots for that Denver game. I won that
That's
shit.
that's what I'm saying, and it's like, look, bro, like Big Bill comes through. So if he was really gonna get fired, I don't know, man. I don't think he's gonna get fired, bro. I think that would have really pissed Kraft off if he won that game if he was playing that.
Well, he's not gonna get fired like "fuck you" fired. Like they want to just move on type of thing.
Well, I'm taking
If
the
Bill
Patriots
wants
in
to
the
coach
points.
at a new team, I don't think he would want to coach a new team.
I don't think so either. I think he'd be
I
cool
think
with having the 4th pick and proving that he could turn that
But
team
that's
into
the
a
thing.
good team.
Like you win that game, like I don't think there's a Patriots fan out there that was happy that they won that game.
No, I think that was all Big Bill. He said it was,
He's
Christmas
like a spiteful
night.
win. Like, take this, I'm out.
Yeah, y'all are talking shit. Y'all are talking shit about me. I'm gonna show y'all how a man coaches. And he went out and coached his ass off and won.
Something, but you ain't getting Marvin Harrison Jr., Caleb Williams, fucking Drake May.
He doesn't want Caleb Williams. Who wants Caleb Williams besides like 2 dudes in San Francisco? Who really wants him?
There's teams that will trade their quarterback for him right now. But
dumb ones, desperate teams. But anyways, points. As far as this goes, yeah,
give me the Patriots in the points. I want Patriots in the points.
Fuck it, dude. Give me the Patriots to cover.
I'm going Bills, man. I don't know what you guys are talking
That's
about.
That's disrespectful to Big Bill, bro. He ain't going in there. Oh,
you're giving them 2 touchdowns without being a blowout.
Okay.
It's gonna be like 40-10, man. It's gonna be ugly. Bills are getting their shit back together.
Could be. This one's
Falcons, Bears. I guess this is interesting because the Bears have given good teams a tough time down the stretch, and the Falcons need this game pretty desperately. The Buccaneers do have a game on them in the division, so you're almost. Ooh, yeah, and these teams have a game on them in the wild card. So you pretty much have to win this game and hope for some other shit to happen if you're the Falcons. They're in desperate mode. But also, the Falcons at 7-8 for a second year in a row have a chance at the playoffs when they really shouldn't be a playoff team. They've still been getting good guys in the draft, but I wouldn't say like them winning games is hurting their future. But they're kind of, you don't want to get stuck in mediocrity. And they're not there. If they're ahead of schedule, they're doing great. They're doing fantastic. But they're obviously not a threat when it comes to playoffs. Like, if we want to talk threats, everyone's thinking the standings have equalized out. The Rams and the Seahawks. Those are the wild card teams you're worried about of all these guys. You're not worried about Vikings, Falcons, Packers, or Saints. You're worried about Seahawks and Rams. So the cream is rising to the crop.
Low key.
Yeah, the teams that are in right now are the teams that should be in at the end of the year, and these are the best teams in the AFC. AFC is a little messier.
Arthur Smith better watch out. Is Falcons Bears like this is a big game for him for his job security.
Give me the Falcons. The Bears ain't got shit to play for at this point.
Well, the Bears
trying to get
the thing with the Bears though is it's not as bad if they win another game compared to a lot of those other shitty teams, because they have multiple of those. Like they could get the 3rd pick and the 6th pick, and they'll still get some really good shit. It just depends how much they really want, like Marvin Harrison or Drake May or something. And if they want to get rid of Justin Fields, which is still up in the air, but I would assume they get the opportunity, they'll get someone else. Move on. Because that's not the front office that picked him. So we'll see.
Bears minus 2.9, Falcons minus 2.7. So yeah, do the Falcons even deserve to have a record of 7-8 based on that? I mean, 2.7 points below average. I guess it's not horrible. Both these teams are basically lose by a field goal to an average team type of teams.
Yeah,
they're not dog shit in the dumps, but they're not very
Falcons-
good. So honestly, yeah, is there really at this point of the year when there's interesting shit? I don't even want to bother
It's an
with this
interesting
game, to be honest.
But you know,
Yep. Falcons
live in these games. I'll take the Falcons to cover the +3.
I want the Bears at home to get that.
I do think the Bears are a better team.
They're favorited for a reason.
For the past few weeks, like I think the Bears have played better.
Raiders versus Colts, man. Those Raiders won't go away. I mean, they're out of the standings, of course.
It
They're
really
not making the
all
playoffs,
just
but
depends
they
on
won't
the
go away.
spread for this one.
The spread's 3.5 with Indianapolis at home. They haven't defended their own turf that well, 3-4 at home. But you would think, I don't know, this Raiders team, they were fired up after that win against the Chiefs. Maybe that was kind of like their Super Bowl, though. They might be done after that. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
they'll go get. They're gonna go get
That's what I
clowned.
was thinking.
They're
That's
gonna go
totally
get
what I was
clowned. So
thinking.
give me Indianapolis.
Give me Indy. I don't think it's even going to be close.
I think the Colts will be smart enough to stick to their guns and fucking
It may
run
be
the
a little
ball.
close, but they'll cover.
Get in field goal range, and not give the Raiders 2 fucking easy defensive touchdowns, because that was really what killed it for the Chiefs in that game. So yeah, I'll take the Colts to cover, win by like 2 field goals.
I feel like that was a big show. I feel like that whole Taylor Swift Chiefs thing is like a big fucking marketing scam at this point. It's kind of
Wouldn't Travis Kelce be playing better for their? I mean, I think it already was a marketing scheme.
Because he was playing good and everybody loved him, and now that they're not doing well, everybody's talking shit about her. So yeah, everybody's talking shit about Taylor Swift. So now they're talking about how they might break up, and now there's that video surfaced of him mooning a fan, like it's a big deal or something.
Oh,
It's
and then
like,
she's gonna make like a whole album about how
Yeah.
Travis Kelce broke her heart. Yeah, like
Give
she
me the
always
Rams to
does.
cover.
And then she's
Not
gonna
wasting
call
any
me
time.
up again and ask me to go back out with her again, and I'm gonna have to forgive her. You know,
I'm
all
not
that
wasting
shit.
any time on this game, dude. I know what the Rams can be, and I just don't trust the Giants. I think
You're not scared of Tommy?
I'm
mean,
not.
is he
I don't
even
think
gonna
he's
play?
I don't think he's starting this week. I think it's
Well,
Tyrod
Dan,
time
I'm
again.
pretty sure Uncle Danny told Tommy that he needs to get his act
Like-
together. Yeah.
Rams are just a dangerous offense that I don't think the
stupid too.
Giants
Give me
can,
the Rams.
consistently match. This
Give
has
me the
blowout
Rams.
potential.
I don't even care what the spread is. Give me the Rams.
It's 5.5 for the
Spread
listeners.
is 25.
Rams
So
are
got the
projected to beat the Giants by 5.5 points, and no one gives a shit about it. So we're going to move to the next game where Philadelphia is favored by 11. Now, that will be a little bit more talking, but not much. Eagles, they're going to come into there and treat it like a playoff game. If the number 1 seed's on the line, that is a playoff game. That because you skip a week, that is playoffs. They're going to be treating the Cardinals like a damn playoff team. They're at home. The fans are going to be going nuts. They're 6-1 at home. They should probably cream the Cardinals, especially because the Eagles have been a little bit sloppy. So they're going to be having a hard week of practice trying to get their shit turned around. Yeah, 11 points. It's juiced up, but I like it. Give me Philadelphia.
Give me Philly. Ah.
I just don't think for a lot of these teams, even like for Philly, who has struggled to win a lot of these games, you still know like they're gonna most likely win and have some big plays involved. Like when they're playing the Cardinals, the Bears, like 11 points really isn't as much as it seems like it is for these teams.
What we got
But
now? Saints Bucks. This should be an interesting
Give
game.
me
There
the
you
Bucks.
go.
Give me the Bucks.
This should be an interesting game. I want the
At
Bucks
home.
for sure.
Saints,
1,000%.
Saints.
Give me the Saints are trash.
They're just not. The Bucks
They're
are clicking
fucking-
in most cylinders.
I hate to say it,
Funny.
but Baker's doing his Baker is shaking and baking.
Like I said last week,
in,
dude, like
this year.
he's got all he needs is Mike Evans. He's got some other decent guys, and that running back does his job enough. I think they're heading in the right direction. They have upset potential in the first round against.
I was
some
just
of those
gonna
teams,
say they
but
do have, they do have Baker.
Will do it though.
Yeah, but Baker's also
Like-
known to throw 3 or 4 picks and like fuck a game.
Like
up.
if they
They're
played a team, like they won't. But if they played a team like the Jaguars, I would pick them in that matchup right now. But they're probably going to end up having to play like the Cowboys or something. And
yeah,
I
they'll
think
get
they'll get
smoked the
stomped.
first round.
The defense will be too much.
I'm
But
sure they'll be happy with just getting in at this point, because then they know that they got a quarterback. Because if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Baker's going to get a 2-year deal
he'll get signed.
from the
But it will be
Bucs
interesting.
at the end of the season.
It would be interesting to see, though, what they decide to do, too, because I don't know what their asset situation is, but this is a stacked class of quarterbacks.
Well, they already said they're offering Baker a 2-year
So, like,
deal.
Yeah, like if they did the Packers strategy type of a thing, get like Jaden Daniels.
Oh, I like can use Baker as
Yeah.
like the bridge quarterback until their dude's
Yeah.
ready or whatever. I mean,
Mhm.
that's kind of again putting Baker in this effed up
He
position
would
of
be
like,
pissed.
you know, it's
You
like,
just-
bro,
you just
everywhere
got
you
that
go, you got
mentality, you know what I
someone
mean?
breathing down your fucking neck, bro. Like
Mhm.
he'll never be able to succeed if that's the way they're gonna do him in the NFL.
Yeah. And they
As
got
far as
lined
this
up
game
like
goes, I mean, if the Saints can actually get their pass attack going, there could hypothetically be a pretty deadly team, but they just haven't figured out how to do that. Guys aren't staying healthy. Olave's banged up. Michael Thomas has been kind of a no-show.
Does he still
And-
play?
He was doing pretty good like halfway through the year, but then he kind of started getting banged up again.
But like Mike Evans, like you gotta lock him up now because remember back with like the beginning part of the season, there were lots of trade rumors surrounding him because his contract is expiring after this year, so he's gonna get a big payday somewhere.
Who?
Mike Evans.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Mike Thomas. I'm like, who the
No.
hell's gonna give
fuck
that dude
no,
a big
dude.
payday, bro?
No, dude.
Only the 2016 Browns might have done
No,
it.
dude,
You know,
who's gonna sign him? Fucking like either the Ravens or the Steelers. They're gonna pick up a washed up fucking has been receiver for Lamar and say like, well, here's a name, here's a guy I like with Chris Collinsworth voice. Well, here's the guy, Patrick
I
Mahomes.
like Chris Collins.
He's funny
He's my
sometimes.
favorite one. He's my favorite one of them all.
He
That's
loves
'cause
rambling,
he's-
though, dude.
It's because he's an Ohio guy, though. You know that, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
he's got
everyone's
that-
taking the Bucks here. I mean, it's only
Uh-huh.
2.5 points. They're at home. They've been playing much better than the Saints. Saints are just going to stay in mediocrity all year. We're never going to see this team blossom into what it could have been. So, yeah, mark that shit down, especially to try to clinch the division. Yeah, the Saints will be trying in this game, but they'll be a lot more desperate than the Buccaneers, and sometimes the team that's playing a little less desperate and just kind of keeping their shit humming is the better team. Sometimes those desperate teams come out of nowhere and do something, though. I mean, that's why we watch. You can't just predict a game what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Saints could very well figure out a way to win this football game. Buccaneers are not anything special.
And Baker
But-
easily could throw 3 or 4 picks. He's
And
known to
Baker
do
could
it.
fuck up. So, yeah, I mean, all the signs point to the Buccaneers, though.
Yeah.
49ers
Hey guys,
and
if you're
Washington.
wondering, my back's killing me. That's why I had to sit back for a minute. I had to
Also,
my
not
back's
wasting time on this game.
effing me up. Oh yeah,
Well, you
I
got to
already told the
decide
next
if
one is
we're going to take
Niners
the
commies.
12
What's
points.
I
yeah,
decided
I'll take it.
before, dude.
I'll
taking
take it. I'll
Now,
take it.
Jacoby
I'll take
Brissett's going to be starting, and he looks better, but the Commanders are ass. Just
I heard
straight up.
Brissett was hurt
49ers
too, though.
have a
Brissett got
track
hurt last
record
week.
of destroying and covering these spreads against mediocre.
Give me the
worse
Niners,
teams.
bro. This isn't even a contest,
Yeah.
but I heard Brisket is hurt too, though.
He's not even really been playing much this year anyways. I'm going to pick the Commanders just because it's a 12-point spread and the 49ers struggled last week, and I think they'll have one more week of struggling. They'll win this game, no doubt, but
I
not
think
by 12.
I think fucking McCaffrey's going for 3 tutties in this game.
Yeah, I think they're about to tear these dudes a new fucking gooch.
I mean, yeah, they could take out all their frustrations, but they also, they're playing for that number 1 seed too. I think
And
there's.
we saw the
I
bad
mean,
parts of Brock Purdy last week, but that was against the Ravens. So
that was on a primetime game. I don't know. The commies are trash. Ron Rivera's trash. I'm just ready for that era to end. I'm ready for that era to end and see what they come up with. Hopefully they go
I saw
back
something
to the
about fucking Mike Tomlin, like them possibly trading him there to Commanders or something.
That'd be
crazy. You gotta stop going on Bleacher Report, dude.
It wasn't on Bleacher Report. It was
whatever trash.
It was an interesting theory, though. I will say, because of like front office members from Steelers. Before
I heard Jim Harbaugh, if they win the national championship, might actually go to the fucking Chargers.
Every once in a while, like it's not a crazy theory. I don't see it happening, but it's weird.
Honestly, me saying that 5G is controlling my brain and causing all my problems is a lot more likely than Mike Tomlin coaching for the freaking Commanders.
And the Steelers trading.
I'm not. It legitimately is more possible. It is more possible that I'm being that my mood and behavior is affected by 5G. It is like, and I'm like 75% more possible, like a long shot, not even close.
Should we go back to like whatever week it was, bro? I'll use my right hand. You use your left. All right. Anyhow, yeah.
Next game, happen. Dolphins versus Ravens. This is a good game.
This is a hell of a game.
It is going to be important.
Too.
This isn't going to be a.
What's the spread?
3.5.
3.5 for Baltimore. They're at home, coming off that big victory all the way in San Francisco. How about that?
And the Dolphins squeaked that shit out by the last hair on their nutsack, didn't they? I was so hoping they were going to lose that game, and then all of a sudden they squeaked that shit out. Did you get to see that, G?
Yes. So these are two teams that just came off big wins against NFC juggernauts. So they both got to be feeling pretty good. And here you go again. I mean, they're fighting for the number 1 seed. If you're the Dolphins, you really got to win this shit. The Ravens, you probably really want to win this shit. I guess those are the only 2 teams other than the Browns potentially slipping back into contention for the number 1 seed.
I mean, I worry about the Dolphins in like the AFC North-ish kind of games, physicality problems, because a lot of their running backs aren't like straight like.
What's their injury status?
No, they're running. Yeah, their running backs are speed back guys that are
just
most
avoid the pressure.
Yeah, they're best utilized in a spread offense.
If you can, these kind of games.
If you can like make a scenario where you shut down their passing game and they try to force them to run. Now you're not gonna shut down the Dolphins passing game because they have Tyreek Hill and he's gonna get his no matter what. But Jalen Waddle is banged up, so I don't think he's gonna play.
I saw he was supposed to not play, so
I don't know why they would play him. It's just too late in the year, and I know this game means a lot, but you're still gonna make the playoffs no matter what. So I wouldn't waste Waddle on this. He does seem pretty seriously banged up with a high ankle sprain. Yeah, I would say Baltimore 3.5. I mean, if their defense can just do enough to slow down that pass game and not get gashed in the run, because the Dolphins can gash teams in the run game and score a lot of rushing touchdowns and a lot of big plays.
I mean,
they can run the ball. Mostert's up there, and they have other guys too.
Their defense did most of the damage against the Niners too. Fucking Kyle Hamilton was prime time. If you get something like that, then I'm totally fine with 3.5 points. I'm surprised it's not higher, low key. I'm taking it. A lot of it's just the physicality issues I have with the Dolphins, and without Jalen Waddle there, I think you need two backbreakers on your team, and you got Tyreek who's banged up, but
I'm gonna pick the Dolphins because I can kind of see a scenario where they win this game, and I'm getting 3.5 points right there. So I'm just gonna take that. Mainly, I don't know. It's just a feeling, gut feeling.
Dude,
I don't have anything to
logic
describe why I feel this way.
one.
There's no logic.
I'm with you.
No
It's
logic.
hard to come up with some logic to this game other than like what's the injury report on both teams. That's the only thing that's got me. Is because I know Ravens are on a short week. It's a holiday week. It's going to be, there's some factors that play into this.
Jalen Waddle's enough for me. I think Tua's a fine quarterback, but right now Lamar Jackson is the MVP front runner. So
this season has been like what's supposed to happen never happens.
Yeah, that's my point. And they're 13-3. Do we really think they're going to go 15-3? I don't.
No,
I don't think they're that good of a team. They're going to drop at least one, if not two, of these games. I could see it coming down to them versus the Steelers last week.
The Dolphins.
I'm taking the Dolphins, bro. I just talked myself into it. I just totally see the Steelers.
One of those playoff teams that shrinks in the big moments a lot. Like they did it against the Dolphins,
in a really cold
or against the line. Fuck, dude, against the Cowboys. But I also feel the same way about the Cowboys to an extent. I just think the Ravens are there. They're competing at a high level. They got the best player in the game. So give them.
All right, moving on. Titans versus Texans. I guess you kind of care about this one.
Is CJ back? They just played each other.
He's out of the protocol.
He's playing.
Yeah, they got to get him out there. If he's out of the protocol, he's playing.
Didn't they just play each other like 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Yeah, and it was an overtime game.
Even though he's back,
it was close.
Kind of like the Texans.
And Indy dominated, or Titans dominated that game and then lost at the very end.
Yeah, but CJ wasn't in that game. I imagine it would be very different. And this line reflects C.J. Stroud playing the football game. Houston minus 5.5 after they just got creamed by the Browns. I mean,
I do partially like the Titans.
I'm going to take the Titans and the points. Now, do I think the Texans will win? Yeah, but I don't think they're going to win. That 5.5 means something. I think the Titans usually stick into some games.
Like, Stroud being back is enormous, but also like his guys that he really relied on, one of them still out.
Yeah, no Tank Dell.
So like that was the big weapon for them to me. Nico Collins is great. They got good enough for running backs to get the job.
We exposed them. We just exposed them last week. Even if they had Stroud, they wouldn't have.
Titans are a bad team, but they respectfully compete against a lot of these teams. So I'll give them the edge here.
I'm going to take the Titans. I know that there's a 1-6 away record for the Titans and a 5-3 record for the Texans at home. I know the Texans are coming off a rough loss. Their season's kind of up in arms. There's a lot of competition that these guys aren't used to come this time of year playing in the NFL. And it's hard to beat your division rival twice in one season. And these games at the end of the year, like more times than not, you almost see the underdog pulling it off. So I'm at least going to take, if you're going to give me 5.5, I'm going to take that with the Titans.
I'm with you, G. I feel your logic, my dude.
It'll be interesting to see how the Texans react to that game. Because at the end of the game, they were starting to
this next game is going to be a good one.
We'll see.
This one's a tough one. But I already know who I'm picking.
Seattle's getting
I think-
3.5 against the Steelers, who might feel like they found a quarterback solution, Mason Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph.
He did,
But they got to
He did
travel,
look
man.
fine.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer,
It's
dude.
at
It's
Seattle.
got to go to the West Coast, or not
Seattle
even
have a
the
top 5.
Southwest, or what is it? Northwest Coast,
North
Pacific Coast.
Seattle's got to
whatever.
have a top 5 home field, right?
Well, they're
Oh,
5-2 at home.
Yeah,
The
so-
Steelers travel well. They're 3-3 on the road. It's only a 3.5 spread. The Seahawks, I think this game is a little bit realer for them to clinch their spot in the wild card. For the Steelers, it's almost like
They just edged out.
The
You shouldn't even
Steelers
be here.
win.
You shouldn't
it
be
come
here.
Down to last week. It could come down to that last game against the Ravens for sure.
Yeah, but the Steelers, they just shouldn't be here. And I think
But they
Seattle
are,
does
though.
deserve to
Yeah.
be here.
But they
I'm just
are,
gonna-
and in their brain, they beat the Browns. They're over 500, right? They could have 10. They could have 10 or 11 wins at the end of the season, right? 10 wins.
Oh,
They could get to
Hey.
10.
Yeah, so they
Yeah,
can
see-
be 10-7. Yeah, bro. I mean, I still would say Seattle's going to win the game, but I wouldn't count out Pittsburgh whatsoever. And as far as the points go, dude, Seattle doesn't have a quarterback. They look boofy.
I mean,
I'm
I'll
gonna
acknowledge.
But
take
Geno's
the Steelers,
back.
bro.
Geno,
Geno's trash
yeah.
too, though.
He's
So
just not
give me the
as
Steelers, man. But I do feel like, I feel like the Seahawks will win, but I feel like the spread. I just that part F's me up. That half a point. It could be close.
I mean,
It could be close.
I acknowledge Mason Rudolph looked fine last week, but way better
But-
than anything else they've seen. But I
we've
just trust
seen
the
that show
Seahawks
before.
offense. I've seen the Seahawks offense way better than the Steelers. I trust DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, guy from Ohio State, way more.
Kenneth Walker.
And they got a good running back. Steelers every
And
so
they're at
often-
home.
I saw a
So who did I
ridiculous.
take? Hold on, I'm sorry. Can I go back? Who did I take?
You took the Steelers.
I
I-
took the Steelers to cover, but I feel like the Seahawks will win. is what
I
I
can't
said.
I
Okay.
can't remember the exact stat, but it was wild when I saw it regarding George Pickens. Like, out of all of his yardage this year, like, say it was like 600 yards or something, 1% of the yards weren't on, like, or 90% of the yards were on, like, touchdowns, like that one against the Browns, and like he's just not getting consistent looks. And I just, the guy I want them to get the ball is the running back, the backup running back.
Warren or whatever. Warren, what's his name?
Yeah, it's just a balance of like guys that they drafted that they gotta like stick to kind of, but it just doesn't work when you don't have a quarterback. You don't know what offensive scheme works. You got guys going in and out of the lineup.
I'm gonna sick Miles Garrett.
I just don't trust it. So give me
The
the
Steelers, they need to have a
Seahawks.
losing record this year, so they're gonna lose both their games. This is the first
I'm
one.
just gonna pick the Seahawks, bro, all out. Even though I will say to the people watching the show that I wouldn't count the Steelers out on this one.
So wait, who are you picking then, Durs?
Seahawks.
There you go. Everyone's picking Seattle.
Yeah, bro, because I think the home field plays a huge role. The whole traveling thing.
They're just a way better team than the Steelers, man.
And their home record and their away records kind of don't jive. And
Chargers and Broncos.
God,
You know what?
this
Give me
is
the Chargers
tale
to
of
cover a 3.5 spread, and that's all I'm going to say about it.
I'll take the Broncos. I feel like Chargers are a mess.
Chargers are a hot money line for sure this week because of them benching Russell Wilson. for
Please don't
Stidham.
talk about this game. I'm gonna fall asleep if you do. This game is
feel like-
horrible. This is like the game for the birds. If you like to look at birds all day, this is the type of game you'd want to watch.
We got a Twitch comment. Oh, it's spam. You've been well behaved this year, and Santa asked me to give you a promo code for 10 viewers. First off, I don't need 10 viewers. Second off, I have not been well behaved this year, my friend. No.
Have you not watched the
no.
previous
Yeah,
16 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
I'll
might have
take.
missed something.
Must have missed something that I didn't.
I'll just say fuck it, and I'll take the Chargers to cover and win.
Yeah, there we go.
They fucked me so many times. I'm
They
going
fucked
with the
us all.
Broncos.
But
Who's the quarterback, anyways, for the Broncos?
Broncos is Jared Stidham, former New England
Oh,
Patriots
yeah.
backup.
I'll take
I
that.
think
I'll
he was
take
on the
him.
Raiders too. Like,
Yeah, I heard he got a few guys benched. Let's go.
Oh, Bengals Chiefs. Okay, this is one of the games I believe if the Chiefs win, I think the Browns are in no matter what. I think.
I still want the Bengals to win.
Fuck, dude.
And I don't know who I'm taking, but I still am rooting for the Bengals to win because I would much rather the Chiefs get a shittier and just end up playing them not getting a home game.
If that was 7.5, I wouldn't take it, but I'll take it. Give me the Chiefs.
After what the Bengals just did against the Steelers, they got to travel to Arrowhead Stadium where the Chiefs are like pissed off. It's like a.
But they lost their last two.
It's like a mentally. It's like a mentally retarded bear that they keep in one of those zoo rehab places where they have the animals that can't live in nature. It's like they take a retarded bear, it gets out from the animal retard shelter, it climbs into a tree into an angry beehive of those African honeybees that are the size of your goddamn fist. It climbs up in there. It doesn't even know how to attack. It's mentally challenged. Okay, it starts getting stung by those bees, and it's stung, and it gets swollen, and it fucking explodes and dies. That's what's gonna happen to the Bengals. Give me the Chiefs to cover 7 points.
I mean, the Chiefs last week they lost because the picks obviously, and they got tossed around by Aiden O'Connell. I feel like Bengals quarterback is about in that same territory as that guy is, but if this was 7.5, I wouldn't take it. But
so you're going Chiefs minus 7.
Are pissed. They know the circumstances. They got to get a better seed, not get away. They might have fucked it already, but fuck it. Don't fuck me again, Mahomes.
I think the Bengals in that locker room, they finally know what's up. They're like, without Joe Burrow, we're screwed. We don't have Chase. Like, I think it's time. Hendrickson's arms all screwed up. Like, they're done.
Hendrickson's like if not leading the league in sacks or tied second for sacks or something like that. He's doing his thing.
Yeah, no, he's doing great, but
do you think they're biting their ass about not signing Jesse Bates?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't freaking have that.
Every time.
I think they have bigger problems than whether or not they kept Jesse Bates.
They do, but like every time I do see a Falcons game and they're about to win, it's because it's fucking he gets a pick or pick six.
You know, I'm putting too much thought into this, bro. I'm fucking so sick of the Chiefs. I would love for them to lose. I was high on Jake Browning coming in because everybody said he was going to be trash, and I said he would do well, and he did. But now he's starting to shit the bed. I think the Chiefs are going to be pissed. I think Travis will get some good Taylor head this week, and he's going to get some Arrowhead action on and probably shit on the Bengals this week, personally. But,
if we've learned anything,
go Jake. Let's go Jake Browning. Let's go.
If we've learned anything from this season, it's like these backup quarterbacks, you can't trust them for long periods of time. Like, you can't get up on the bandwagon and then act like they're going to stay there. Teams are benching backups that they traded for, Josh Dobbs in particular, and he comes up 2 weeks, he's great, marvelous, and then he just fucking sucks. Bench him again, bring him back. You don't know what the fuck you're getting. Like, Joe Flacco right now is the one who hasn't sucked a game yet. Like, he's struggled some, but he's been very good. So, fuck that, dude. Where'd you go, bud?
I dropped the phone real fast because I literally fumbled it on the 1 yard line like Ernest Biner, 1987 or 6 or whatever.
Like Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Yeah.
All right,
like
Packers
some-
versus Vikings, Minnesota by 1
God.
point. Oh,
1
sorry.
point.
I mean, the winner is still alive. The loser is gone.
The Vikings got another quarterback change. What's that? Jared some shit. Some BYU quarterback.
Jared from
He
Subway,
sucked
from what I
ass
understood.
last time he played, so I'll
I
just take
heard
the
Jared
Packers.
Fogle I heard Jared Fogle was starting for the Vikings this week. They literally bonded him out and said that he's in charge of the offense.
All right, I'm going with
So,
Minnesota -1. I don't really care to talk
Yeah.
about it.
Give me
I
the
don't want to
Packers
talk about
winning.
it either. Just give me the fucking Packers, bro. I don't know who these freaking quarterbacks are for the Vikings anymore.
They just talking. Fuck the Vikings.
It's been an interesting year for Minnesota, but it's time to go to rest.
They
Time
had
to
some
go to sleep.
heroics, and now fucking. Wow, how are they favored, dude? Because Hawkinson tore his Achilles, so he's out.
Because they
there.
keep doing this. They're like a fucking cockroach, dude. They don't go
They
away.
were. Now they're.
What was that chick?
Trash.
What is that chick eating, bro? She was taking drops of something. Like,
Oh, it's mushroom stuff.
Is it like make you trip, or is it like just like?
No, it's like
fucking-
lion's mane, like the shit I take.
Okay. What if they had like a little psilocybin in there too? Would that help?
They should. They should do that. They should very much do that.
I think so too. Is that Taylor right there?
No. All right. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We will catch you next
Is that
time
the
as
last game?
always. Yep. There's no special games. Everything's gonna
Oh.
happen on Sunday.
We killed
Except
it.
the Saturday
Alright.
one and the one tonight.
Oh yeah, that's the main game. Rest of the games are in the Detroit game. I'm interested in that one. That's Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. We'll catch you next
Cavaliers
time.
victory last night.
As always, keep it real.
Yeah.
Peace.
Go Cavs.
Dude.
Peace. Go Browns.